Welcome back to the Bluegrass family. We're so happy that you all are here with us, and we're thankful for your patience as we spent a lot of time getting these chickens grown and processed and getting the video put together to share with you all here on YouTube. This is going to be a graphic video, so please opt out now if you don't want to see a graphic video of how we have slaughtered and processed this meat chicken. So we started this on a Friday, and we spent the entire day from about 6 a.m. until about 4 p.m. And so we will walk you all through this entire process from this day. We're thankful you're here. We hope that you have liked and subscribed to our channel if you would like to see more videos like this, and we'll get right into it. So this is our 4th or 5th year actually raising and growing our own meat chickens. My husband is the one that actually really got interested in this several years ago and started researching and reading and preparing our farm just to be able to get all of this together to be able to raise our own meat chickens. So he is the one that ordered the plans to build the chicken tractors, which is what you see them in. And we actually were moving them out of the chicken tractors into this cattle trailer just to be able to bring them up towards our patio so that we can get them out a lot easier and just make the whole process a lot quicker. So this is, like I said, our 4th or 5th year raising our meat chickens, and so this is actually the first year that we have raised as many as we did. So we did 56 or 57 chickens this year, and typically we've raised about 30. This is also the first year that I was able to be very hands-on in the whole process of helping Dave get the chickens slaughtered, scalded, plucked, you guys, not defeathered, and vacuum sealed. So it's a very long process. It took us an entire day to get this all done, and we're going to show you all exactly what we did. So just stay tuned, and it's going to be a longer video this week, but I think that you all seeing everything in real time will just make the whole process easier for you if this is something that you're wanting to do yourselves. So in order to be able to raise our own meat chickens, we obviously went ahead and purchased the scalder and the chicken plucker, and I believe that those two things make a world of difference in being able to slaughter a larger amount of chickens. Dave had went ahead and invested in those with our first round of raising meat chickens, and it honestly makes the process so fast and efficient that I'm really thankful that we went ahead and invested in those two items. So if that's something that you all are thinking about, I do think that it's definitely worth looking into your budget to see if you can afford to go ahead and get those purchased before you begin raising your meat chickens. So this year, Dave went ahead and invested in a commercial vacuum sealer, which we did slaughter, process, break down, and vacuum seal the chickens, all 56 or 57 of them in the same day. So my mom ended up coming over and helping us. Dave and I were the ones to break the chicken down, and then my mom was the one to actually vacuum seal it all, and then we put all of it into coolers that were completely iced down. And so we allowed the chicken to rest for a couple of days in the coolers. We brought the coolers inside, completely iced down, and we allowed the chickens to rest after they were vacuum sealed. So that's worked out okay for us this time. That is actually our very first time trying to do all of it in one day instead of slaughtering and processing the chicken and just sitting it in the refrigerator and letting it rest for a few days. So this is the first year that we, like I said, vacuum sealed it and then allowed it to rest. And we think that that was an efficient way to get it all taken care of in the same day, and it has worked out well for us. Another thing that he bought this year were the kill cones. So previously, he'd used some old traffic cones, which, we were just doing what we could with what we had. This year, he decided to invest in the kill cones, and from what he said that it makes the world of difference in slaughtering the chickens. It just makes it a lot faster. So we did 5 kill cones, screwed up to some boards, and we did 5 at a time. So I would get them out and I would hand them to Dave. He would put them in the kill cone and then cut the artery, let them drain, and then we would just do one at a time. We would do groups of 5, and then of course he would go over to the table, and he would start breaking them down after I had scalded and put them into the plucker. So that was our system for actually getting them slaughtered and then processed. And once he got once he got the chicken gutted, he would place it into this large food grade plastic bin that is full of water and ice. And so they stayed at a good temperature inside of that until we were ready to actually break them down. So we slaughtered all 56 or 57 of them. He gutted them, put them in the bin, and they stayed in that plastic bin until it was time for us to actually break them down and vacuum seal them. So like I said, this is the process where we had already moved them out of 2 of the chicken tractors. We'd moved them into the cattle trailer, and Dave had backed the trailer up right to the edge of our patio. We had the kill cones and the buckets set up outside next to our patio. We had the scalder out kind of on the driveway, and then the plucker out on the driveway. And we were doing all of the breaking down and the gutting and everything actually on the patio, and keeping the chickens in the ice on the patio just to keep everything a lot cooler, to keep us cooler, because that day it was actually getting into the high 90s. So we were trying to work quickly and efficiently, and we started very, very early. I think it was about 6:30 when we actually started doing this process. And so, like I said, I would get the chicken out of the cattle trailer, hand it over to Dave. He would get them and cut the artery. They would drain into the buckets. And then once he was ready, once they were ready to be put into the scalder, I would get them, put them into the scalder, and then put them into the plucker, and then Dave would do the rest. And so I have video of all of that so you all can see the entire process. And like I said, I wanted to include real time, so it's a little bit of a longer video, but I think that it's worth you all seeing exactly what went on, how we did it. And I think whenever you're doing something like this, the more information you can get and the more that you watch, it just helps you kind of get the concept or get your own process of what you want to get done. So you all can just watch this and see how we did it, and hopefully it will help you all. So we actually got our chickens about mid-April, and this is them at 8 weeks. So we processed these the 3rd week of June. So they've grown from little baby chicks when we got them in the mail to this full-size meat chicken, and like I said, it's the 3rd week of June. I believe that Dave has put together another video of how he actually set up the chicken tractors with the bell waterers and the feed and everything. And so I will go back and put a video of all of that together as well, just so that if you're wanting to raise your own, you can kind of see how he sets up the chicken tractors, the feed, the water, and just the whole concept of raising them up to actually this point. So at this point, like, they're obviously ready to be slaughtered and processed, but there's a whole lot of information that can be helpful to you all the first 8 weeks of actually raising the chickens. So I will put that together and I'll share that on here as well. So once the chickens have had their artery cut and they have completely drained out and they are lifeless, obviously at that point, sorry for the graphic details, but that is just the way that it goes when you're slaughtering chickens. You go ahead and you get them into the scalder. And so the key with the scalder is it's set to 153 degrees. And so you just put the chicken in until the wing feathers pull out easily. So that is about 45 seconds. About 30 seconds go by. I try to check it and just see if the wing feathers are coming out easily. But by about 45 seconds, you check the wing feathers. If they come out easily, it's ready to be put into the plucker. So that's whenever I go ahead and move it over to the plucker. I spray the water hose into the plucker with the chicken inside, and I turn it on for a little bit, just long enough to where I feel that all of the feathers have come out of the chicken. And then if there are any few stray feathers, I just pluck them out myself. So that's the way that we do the scalding and the plucking. So like I said, we were working in groups of 5. So I would do a couple and then I would get them in the scalder and then get them in the plucker. And then I would take them out of the plucker and I would hand them over to Dave onto his cutting board. And he would go ahead and just gut the chickens, and then he would put them into the ice bath. And so I've got footage of the actual process of him gutting the chicken and what all that he does, and I did a close-up video of that so that you all can see exactly what he does and make it easier for you guys. If you want to see it, it'll be in just a few minutes. I also got a close-up video of us putting the chickens into the kill cones and how Dave actually cuts the artery, the main artery. That way it is a quick and ethical way of killing the chicken. We feel that this is a quick and ethical way of killing the chicken, and so I will share that in a few minutes so that you guys can see exactly how he does that as well. So when we were slaughtering and processing the chickens, it was just me and Dave out doing this process. And so we did talk a little bit about how we felt that it would be a little bit quicker and more efficient as far as the amount of people that you have to be able to help you process the chicken. Like we said in the past, we've done about 30, which Dave processed on his own. I wasn't even able to help him at that time. So he did that single-handedly. This time he had me and my mom both helping him. And so obviously that was a huge help in just the process of getting this taken care of. And so we were talking about having the kill cones, the scalder, and the plucker. And just if there was someone that was able to do the slaughtering, do the scalding, we feel like that one person could definitely get the chicken out of the trailer, one person could slaughter, and then one person could do the scalding, plucking, and another person processing. That would be 4 people total doing this entire process if you had a large amount of chickens. This was a fairly large amount of chickens. It did take us an entire day to do this, so it's definitely doable with 2 people, but just as far as if you wanted it to be an even more efficient process, that's just our thoughts on how it could be even more efficient. So like I said, here is an up-close viewpoint of Dave actually getting the chicken into the kill cone and sliding it down. So he grabs it by the feet and then just slides it down into the kill cone, grabs its head from the bottom, pulls it down, and he's able to cut that artery really quickly and get the chicken drained just in an ethical manner. I know people do it differently, but this is how we did ours, and we feel that it works really well. It's quick, and like we said, it's an ethical process of getting the chickens processed and slaughtered. So as we were doing this, it was kind of a learning process for us both as we were trying to work together. And what we found out was that as I was handing the chicken over to Dave, because I would go into the trailer and I would catch the chicken and then I would just hand it over to him. But as we were sticking it down into the comb, what we found to be best was that I would kind of slide its head down and he was able to grab it a little bit easier. And also what you just saw was the chicken kind of had a little bit of an accident on Dave, so it's kind of why he squirmed a little. And that happened, I think, 2 times out of all the chickens that we slaughtered. So that can happen, and just be prepared whenever you're killing the chickens that they can do that, and you might want to stand a little bit back from them until they're fully drained. So like I said, this is kind of a graphic video, but we feel like it's important for y'all to see the entire process. And so here's also an up close of me putting the chicken into the plucker. So I've already, as you can see, plucked a lot of chickens. The feathers get washed out of the bottom, and so Dave had kind of a little tray at the bottom to catch the feathers, just to make it a little bit easier when it was time for cleanup. But I would say that it just took about 15 to 30 seconds after I had scalded the chicken, once I put it into the plucker, to actually get the chicken fully plucked. So I just wanted you all to be able to see that as well. So from this angle, you're able to see how Dave goes about this, the slaughtering process or the gutting process. And so I will do my best to get in the description his complete breakdown of what he does. I'll have him write that down, and we'll put that into the description of the video. That way you all can read through it, and then maybe you could print that off and you could watch the video again and maybe take some notes if you are wanting to do this yourself, and it might make the process a little bit easier for you. Or we could even type it up and put a link to it in the description of the video. Whatever we need to do. But he did this for all of the chickens. I wasn't the one to actually do the gutting process, so I don't feel comfortable telling you exactly step by step what needs to happen. Like I said, he's done this for several years, and he's done every single step in the slaughtering and processing, the whole breakdown of getting the chicken ready to be put in the freezer. So he's really knowledgeable on it, and so I think he would give you a lot better information than what I would give you about actually getting it gutted. So we will get that to you all one way or the other, if it's in written format or video format, however we do it, but you all can at least visually see how he's doing it here. Also, I think from this angle, you're able to see how we did this in real time. So you can see that all of the chickens have already been slaughtered, and they're in the kill cones. And then I go ahead and grab them out of the kill cones, place them into the scalder, and put them into the plucker, all while Dave is doing the gutting process. So this did work really well for us as far as just being quick with the whole process of getting them gutted and then into the ice bath before we could break them down. So we're switching up the angle a little bit to get a little bit closer in on this so that you all can actually see a little bit better review of the gutting process. So not to gross you out or be, nasty or anything like that, but this is an important step that y'all need to be able to see and know what you're doing. So we just wanted to zoom in and show exactly how Dave is breaking this chicken down. Our youngest had to get in on the work, and so he decided to help us do some of the plucking. So this is Jackson, and he wanted to spray the water hose while the chicken was getting plucked, and then he helped, once the chicken was out of the plucker, he helped pluck the last few feathers that were left. So we thought this was pretty fun, and he was really good about it, and we think it's great to get the kids in there and have them be involved in the process so that they can grow up and just see where their food actually comes from. So Dave did decide to go ahead and keep the chicken livers, and so we've got a bowl with some ice in it to be able to put the chicken livers in to keep them cold while he's processing the chickens. This is the first year, I believe, that we've actually kept the livers. I've got some friends that really like chicken liver, and so I'm hoping they have some good recipes because I've actually never cooked it myself. So they say it's really good fried, and I know it's really good for you, so I would like to at least give it a try and see how our family likes it. So like I said, this was a full family affair, and I believe it was around this time that my mom got to the property, got to our house, and she was able to really help us. She stayed with us for a long time that day. She really helped us do the scalding, the plucking, and like I said, when we went to actually process and vacuum seal the chicken, she was able to help us with that as well. At this point, we were completely finished slaughtering the chickens, and so Dave was gutting the very last one, and my mom and I began to start cleaning up all of the kill cones, disinfecting everything, and getting all of that stuff just clean so that we could store it away until we're ready to use it again. I just used some hydrogen peroxide, I used some Dawn dish soap. The kill cones obviously had a lot of dried blood on them, and we don't want nasty stuff going on, so we really worked hard to get everything cleaned and put away. And like I said, it was a good team effort for all of us to work together and get that done. So we're finally moving on to the actual processing and breaking down of the chicken. So we're taking the whole chicken out of the ice bath, getting it on the cutting board, and breaking it down into how the pieces that we want to vacuum seal. So we didn't actually leave it whole. We decided to go ahead and break the chicken down, and so we did the thigh and leg quarter, or we just did a whole leg quarter, 2 of those in each vacuum sealed bag. And then we combined the breast and tenderloin. We didn't separate the breast and tenderloin. And Dave was not skinning the breast, I was skinning the breast. So at first he was just breaking the chicken down and we were working on the vacuum sealing, but we decided to go ahead and have me start helping to break the chicken down just to make it a lot quicker of a process. So I was learning how to break the chicken down during this whole process, so bear with me here. And we got this taken care of. It took us about 4 hours, I believe, to actually get it broken down and vacuum sealed completely. And like I said, the ice bath that the chicken was in kept it cold while we were doing this because it was a pretty warm day. So me and Dave were breaking the chicken down, my mom was vacuum sealing it, and then Grant was actually putting it into the coolers. And so that is where we left the chicken for a couple of days to rest while it was already vacuum sealed. And then Dave went ahead and moved it over into our freezer. So we had several large coolers full of ice. We had to have lots of ice because it was pretty hot that day, and we had to put ice into the big barrel that all the chicken were being put into while we were working on this process. So it was a really long and thought out process of us just getting this taken care of in a quick manner, and it really was all hands on deck to get this done. So we're really happy with the way that it worked. We're so thankful for my mom for all of her help. I'm thankful to Dave for being patient with me as I was learning to break the chicken down, because that's a pretty difficult process, especially whenever you're trying to work quickly. But we managed, and we always say in our family, teamwork makes the dream work. So we were able to get it done. I hope this video was helpful for you all. And like I said, I will try my best to put together another video showing just the whole process of us getting the meat chickens raised up to the point that they were ready to be slaughtered and processed. So like I said, this is our 4th or 5th year doing this. Dave is very skilled and talented at doing this. He's done it many years even alone. This was the year that we have raised the most chickens, so he definitely had to have help this year. And I'm really thankful that we have meat in our freezer and that we're learning something that we can teach our children. Hopefully we can teach other people to do over time, and just be a little bit more self-sufficient. That's just our goal here on our farm, is just to be a little bit more self-sufficient every day. So we hope that you all have enjoyed this video. I hope it's been helpful for you. Like I said, I will get in the description, I will try to do a breakdown of the entire process just to make it a little bit easier for you guys, so that you can go back and watch and take notes if you'd like to. So if you haven't liked and subscribe to our channel, I would really appreciate it if you did. We will be sharing a lot more videos related to farming and homesteading, and we hope you all stick around.